You know, there's something profoundly amusing about the way we treat money, as if it were the very blood of life itself, the magic elixir that can buy happiness, security, freedom, even love. We chase it like hounds after a fox, panting, tongues lolling, eyes wild with the conviction that just a little more, just one more raise, one more investment, one more windfall, and we'll finally have enough to rest. We hoard it in bank accounts, stuff it under mattresses, worship it in stock tickers, and tremble when it dwindles. We say things like money can't buy happiness, and then spend our lives proving we don't believe a word of it. But here's the cosmic jest, the divine comedy of it all. Money is just paper with pictures on it, or worse, digits flickering on a screen. It has no power except the power we give it. And the moment we see through the illusion, the whole game changes from a prison to a playground. Let me take you back, way back, to a time before money even existed. Imagine a village by a river. There's a fisherman who catches more fish than he can eat. There's a farmer with surplus grain. There's a potter with extra bowls. One day, the fisherman trades a basket of fish for a sack of grain and a clay pot. No coins, no contracts, no interest rates, just a direct swap of value. Everyone goes home satisfied. That was the original economy. I have something you want. You have something I want. Let's dance. Simple, human, alive. But then someone got clever. What if, he said, we invent a symbol for value, something portable, durable, divisible? Then we don't have to carry fish to the grain market. And so shells, beads, metals, and eventually paper were born. Brilliant invention. It made trade smoother, cities grew, civilizations flourished. But somewhere along the line, we forgot the symbol was just a symbol. We started worshiping the token instead of the thing it represented. We began to believe that the paper itself was the fish, the grain, the pot. And that, my friends, is where the trouble began. Picture a man, I'll call him Arthur, standing in a bank vault, surrounded by stacks of crisp bills. He's grinning ear to ear. I'm rich, he declares, but step outside with me for a moment. The sun is shining, the air is sweet, children are laughing in the park. Arthur can't hear them. He's too busy counting. Now fast forward 10 years. Arthur is still counting, but now his hair is gray, his eyes are tired, his children barely know him. He has more money than ever, yet he's terrified of losing it. He eats antacids like candy, sleeps with one eye on the stock app, and hasn't taken a real vacation in decades. Just a little more, he whispers to himself each night. Then I'll live. But the finish line keeps moving, doesn't it? Because money is a measure, not a source. It measures value, it doesn't create it. You can no more eat money than you can drink a menu. I once knew a woman named Clara who won a lottery millions. Suddenly, out of nowhere, you'd think she'd be dancing in the streets. For a week, she was. She bought a mansion, a sports car, designer clothes, threw parties that lit up the tabloids. But 6 months later, I found her sitting in that mansion, staring at the wall. I thought this would fix everything, she said. But the silence is louder now. The rooms are bigger, but I feel smaller. You see, money had removed the external problems. Bills, debts, scarcity, but it couldn't touch the internal ones. The restlessness, the fear of death, the nagging sense that life was slipping through her fingers. She'd climbed the mountain of wealth only to discover the view was the same as from the valley. This moment, this breath, this awareness. The mansion didn't change that. The car didn't change that. Only she could. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not preaching poverty. Money is a marvelous tool. It builds hospitals, funds art, sends rockets to the moon. It can buy a warm meal on a cold night, a book that opens your mind, a ticket to see your dying mother across the ocean. These are beautiful things, but a tool is only as good as the hand that wields it. A hammer can build a house or smash a thumb. Money in the hands of fear becomes a cage. Money in the hands of wisdom becomes wings. Let me tell you about a fellow named Hiroshi, a Japanese shopkeeper I met years ago. He ran a tiny store selling rice, tea, and sweets. Nothing fancy. He opened at dawn, closed at dusk, greeted every customer with a bow and a smile. His profits were modest, but his life was rich. He'd close the shop each day and walk to the park to feed the pigeons. He'd play go with his neighbors, sip sake under cherry blossoms, tell stories to his grandchildren. When I asked him about money, he laughed. Money? He said. It's like the wind, sometimes strong, sometimes gentle. I don't chase the wind, I open the sup and sail. He had enough, always enough, because enough wasn't a number in his bank account. It was the space in his heart that wasn't cluttered with wanting. In the Buddhist tradition, they speak of dana, generosity, as the first perfection of the heart, not because giving makes you holy, but because it reminds you that nothing was ever yours to begin with. The rice you give away was grown by the sun, the rain, the farmer's hands. The money in your wallet is a promise printed by a government that may not exist in 100 years. It's all on loan. Hoarding it is like trying to clutch water. Giving it freely is like letting the river flow. And paradoxically, the more you let flow, the more seems to come because you're no longer dammed up with fear. But society doesn't want you to know this. Oh no! The entire economy runs on scarcity, on the belief that there's never enough. Advertisements scream, you need this to be happy. Politicians promise, vote for me, and I'll make you rich. Credit cards whisper, buy now, pay later, live the dream. And we fall for it, deeper and deeper into debt, into stress, into the illusion that happiness is one purchase away. We work jobs we hate to buy things we don't need to impress people we don't like, all while the clock ticks and the sun sets on another day we didn't fully live. Now, here's where it gets really interesting. Money is a mirror. It reflects your inner state more accurately than any therapist. Are you generous? Money flows through you like a river. Are you fearful? You clutch every penny until your knuckles whiten. Are you wise? You use money as a tool, neither worshipping nor demonizing it. Are you asleep? You let it rule you, dictate your worth, your choices, your mood. I knew a billionaire once, yes, a real one, private jets, the works who confessed over whiskey that he valued himself by his net worth. If the market crashes tomorrow, he said, I'll be nobody. Nobody. A human being with breath, with love, with the miracle of consciousness, reduced to a spreadsheet. Let's try a little experiment. Close your eyes. Well, after you finish this paragraph. Imagine your bank account is empty. Zero. Nada. Now what's left? The same sky, the same heartbeat, the same capacity to laugh at a joke, to feel the wind, to love a child. Nothing essential has changed. Now imagine your account has $1 billion. What's different? The same sky, the same heartbeat, the same capacity to laugh, to feel, to love. Again, nothing essential has changed. The billion is just a number, a symbol, a story. The you that experiences all this remains untouched. In the Taoist view, money is like the moon's reflection in a puddle. You can stir the water, try to grab the moon, build a dam around it, but the real moon is in the sky, unaffected. Chase the reflection and you're splashing in mud. Look up and you're bathed in light. The light is life. It's self-free, abundant, shining, whether you're bankrupt or billionaire. Money is just one way the light expresses itself, like a single note in a symphony. Beautiful, yes, but not the music. So how do we live this truth? First, enough is a decision, not an amount. Decide what enough looks like, not in comparison to your neighbor, but in alignment with your actual needs. A roof, food, health, connection, play. Beyond that, money becomes decoration, like frosting on a cake that's already delicious. Second, use money. Don't let it use you. Pay your bills, yes. Save for emergencies, yes. But don't let the pursuit of more steal your mornings, your relationships, your health. Third, give. Not just to charity, but spontaneously. A tip that makes a waiter's day. A gift that surprises a friend. A loan you don't expect back. Giving breaks the spell of scarcity. It says, I trust the river to keep flowing. I'll leave you with a story from India. A king once summoned a sage to his palace. Teach me the secret of happiness, he demanded, gesturing to his mountains of gold. The sage picked up a grain of rice from the floor and said, this contains the universe. Eat when hungry, share when full, sleep when tired. That is all. The king was furious. I have empires and you offer me rice? The sage smiled. Your empires are made of rice, Your Majesty. Every coin was once a seed in a farmer's hand. Every palace was built by bellies that needed filling. You rule symbols. The rice rules you. And so it is. Money is a servant, not a master. A messenger, not the message. A game piece, not the game. When you see it clearly, you're free to play with gusto, invest, create, spend, save, give, without ever forgetting it's all pretend. The real wealth is this: the ability to wake up, look at the sky and say, ah, still here, still alive, still rich beyond measure. Because the treasure was never in the vault, it was in the looking.